you're going to go ahead and create the base today. And if you take a look at the one I've already created, here I have this little piece here, and I can actually kind of change and alter it just a little bit to make it a little more wiggly right here. Keep in mind I'm using a stylus. You can use a blending tool as well, whichever makes you feel more comfortable carving. And then in the back I can kind of turn these into little strawberries. Now you might be able to do this right away. Might need a second day. If that's the case, we'll go ahead and kind of change things up just a little bit. And sometimes you'll look at it and go, man, that really doesn't look like a strawberry. Well, it won't until you add color, and you can't add color until you're done forming this. Something to keep in mind as you are carving is it's much easier to subtract and take away those little carving areas than it is to try and add more to it. So that's why I did the additive piece first, and what you see is plenty of little removals here and there, because I don't want to take away too much and end up having just to add it again. Okay. So something I forgot was these little bits. Remember I said you can alter things as you go. I kind of made my strawberries too big, so I'm just going to skip that. Now you have your base. That's totally done. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the lid. And if I refer to this, I've got my triangle, I've got a little bit of frosting, and then, so I got to find my tracer that says lid. Now anytime you attach an additive piece to your lid or to the side of your pot, please make sure that it's no bigger than the size of a cheese ball. The larger they get, the more they can contain moisture that will not escape. That moisture causes it to crack, and then you have a cracked piece of artwork. So currently I'm going to work on these, and I think I'm going to make little teardrop coils in order to make that look a little more like frosting. Again, pay attention to thickness anytime that you add a coiled piece. Shouldn't be any thicker than your finger and no thinner than a pencil. You don't want pieces that are, again, real too weak or wiggly. Those, again, you don't want it to be too fragile at the same time. And anytime you attach anything, you have to slip and score. Make it rough. You know, I think I'm going to just go ahead and blend those in, push real firmly. Now currently what you're working with is wet clay, otherwise known as bisqueware. So it's super forgiving right now. If you mess something off, you can pull it apart, put it back together. You don't want to do too much of that though, because that does create air bubbles. But at the same time, it's real flexible. Just kind of move things in different positions as you need them. So this, I'm going to end up carving a little bit more. I'll probably take some of those additive pieces off as I work. You should create the little centerpiece for the bottom of your lid that's going to keep it from falling off. So I'm going to grab my slab again. So I just got a little chunk of slab here. And then I'm going to go ahead and carve around there. It says under the lid. Add a little bit of slip here and a little bit of slip here. get that stuck together. Kind of center-ish, you don't want it touching the sides. And then when you place that on top, that's going to kind of fit inside. If you notice that your lid is too big, or if you notice that it doesn't quite, there we go. That ought to work. See, mine overlaps just a little bit. If you wanted to cut a little down, that way it matched, you could do that if you want. I might do that. So the best way to do that is just kind of flip it over and trace around it, and that way you can kind of match. So get rid of some of that extra. Alright, there we go. Gotta try that again. Flip this over, put this here. Okay. I can blend this just a wee bit together here. That way I don't have a super sharp edge. You don't want any sharp edges on this. Okay, so now the last design I'm going to do is I'm going to do my little strawberry on top here. Now once you have your base and your lid all put together with your additive pieces, remember you need to have at least one on either your lid or your side. Then what you're going to do is make sure that you carve your name on the bottom or underneath both the base and the lid. So because sometimes when I put them inside the kiln, they can't go together. I have to kind of separate the two, so that way they fit inside the kiln a little bit better. But make sure that you write your name on the other side of both of those. That way we know whose is whose. And that's all there is to this.